Odinwo. Many thanks for watching.
Welcome back to the Afia Business Morning, and you are watching Opening Bell. Today, as always, we'll take a look at activities from our selected exchanges. The Nigerian, the New York, London, Shenzhen and Shanghai exchanges. We'll also see how commodities are faring in the open market. But first, we're going to be taking a quick look at some business news stories making the rounds. Starting out from the global economy, where it's reported that car makers are pleading for a respite from the European Union climate laws. A story has it that the sales of electric vehicles are plummeted, yes indeed, promoting car makers to demand urgent intervention by the European Commission as they face huge fines for failure to comply with carbon dioxide CO2 emission standards, where the overall car sales fell over 18% year-on-year across the EU in last month, with the market share of fully electric models falling from 21% to just over 14%. And still taking other stories from the global economy, it's reported that eBay's sale of harmful products case has been dismissed. A federal judge has dismissed a U.S. Department of Justice lawsuit accusing eBay, a global online auctions and trading company, of violating environmental laws by allowing the sale of hundreds of thousands of harmful products on its platform, including pesticides and devices to evade motor vehicle pollution controls. Details of these stories and more will come to you on Global Business. And away from that, let's jump right onto the next thing we want to do. That will be the flows of our futures exchanges this morning, starting on the flows of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, where the NGX all-share index, as of yesterday, closed on a low, falling by 0.33% to close at 98,232.38 points. You may be interested to know that the total of 425,764,914 shares valued at 8,450,869,335 naira 47 kobo were traded across 11,954 deals, with equity capitalization of 56,447,678,679,283 naira 3 kobo. And away from that, let's take a look at the biggest gainers and the losers of the day. The biggest gainer of the day was International Breweries, which rose by 9.98%. Other gainers were the likes of Mayer, Veritas Cap, Triple G, and DF Cap. On the other hand, Ella Lake topped the losers list with a decline of 9.93%. Other losers were the likes of Keverton, ABC Trans, Livestock, and Conhole PLC. We will go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll be looking at activities from other selected exchanges. I'm talking about the likes of the New York, London, Shenzhen, and of course Shanghai exchanges right after this time out. The Afia Business Morning, indeed, Opening Bell. We'll be right back. Please stay. Welcome back to the Afia Business Morning, and you are still watching Opening Bell. We're moving straight to the floors of other featured exchanges, starting off on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange this morning, where it's mostly rises in index values across the board. And we have just two this that are down. That's the NYSE Composite DJ and the NYSE US 100 Index, which are both down 0.04% and 0.016%, 0.010% respectively. And let's move over to the stock exchange, starting off at the exchange at Shenzhen, where it all rises with very huge margins, if you ask me. Shenzhen Component Index is up at 10.67%, and even higher is SZSE Composite Index, which is up at 10.93%, and much higher also is the China Index, which is also up at 15.36%. I'm going to take a trip now to the other exchange, still in China. That's I'm talking about the Shanghai Exchange, where it's also all rises in index values across board. The SSE Composite Index up at 8.06%. The SSE 50 Index is up at 7.17%. Star 50 Index is up at 17.88%. That's a very huge margin compared to what we have on the chart this morning. The SSE 180 Index is up at 7.59%. The SSE 380 Index is up at 9.19%. And the CSI 300 Index is up at 8.48%. We're going to a quick break. When we return, we'll be looking at our commodity prices as well as our consumer price watch in the Apple market. You may want to follow this program, join in on the conversation, and watch in live as we speak on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly tap on the search bar www.youtube.com/@AfiaBusiness. And while you're there, do well to hit the like button. Remember to subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. And just so you know, you can stay interactive with us on socials, on Instagram at Afia Business _. Do well to join in and be part of our social media community. The Afia Business Morning, we'll be right back after this timeout. Please stay. My name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Akwamaga.
I am Shioma Akbala.
This is not real market feel like this.
You're welcome back, and I am Ubong Kings. This is still the Afia Business Morning, and you are watching Opening Bell right here on Afia TV. It's time for us to check in on commodity prices, and we will begin with precious metals. And incidentally, there's downward movement for gold today. Gold is down at 0.50%. However, all the precious metals this morning are all up. Silver is up at 1.10%. Platinum is up at 1.38%. Palladium is up at 1.26%. Moving on, let's take a look at energy this morning. Energy is a mixture of rises and dips in index values across board. However, we have more rises than dips, with coal and oil bonylite being the two commodities that are down at 1.23% and 2.84% respectively. However, natural gas is up at 0.45%. Ethanol is up at 1.58%. Oil Brent is up at 0.52%. Brass River and Khyber are both up with the same values of 3.97%. Away from that, let's take a look at industrial metals. This morning, industrial metals, well, it's all rises in index values across board. Interestingly, aluminum is up at 1.32%. Lead is up at 1.16%. Iron ore is up at a very huge margin, incidentally, at 13.71%. Copper is up at 1.53%. Nickel is up at 1.83%. Zinc is up 1.07%. Tin is also up at 0.64%. You are watching the Afia Business Morning. This is Opening Bell. To follow this program, join in on conversations, and of course watch in live on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly type in the search bar www.youtube.com/@Afia Business. While you're there, remember you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. Good part is we are on socials also. You can follow us on Instagram at Afia Business _ to be part of our social media community. Up next, we'll be taking a look at the hikes in prices of food commodities in the open market, as well as the hikes in fuel prices. And on that note, I'll see you tomorrow on the Opening Bell when the exchanges do reopen for trading. The Afia Business Morning. We'll be right back with the segment Global Business. My name is Ubong Kings. Stay tuned.
Two of the most Manchester City.
Stream all Premier League games wherever you are on Showmax Premier League. Available now on Showmax.
Thank you for rejoining me on the Afia Business Morning. Welcome to Global Business, and here we're going to be taking a look at business news stories around the world. My name is Ubong Kings. Welcome. And here are the headlines making the rounds. We're starting off from the automobile world, where it's reported our car makers pleading for respite from European Union climate policy. eBay's sale of harmful products case dismissed. And also, this other headline comes in handy. It says, spot workers go on strike due to rising new shortages. I'm going to be bringing you details of the stories right about now. So we're going to be beginning real quickly, because of want of time or lack of it. We're going to be beginning with this particular story right here that says that the sales of electric vehicles, electric vehicles, have somewhat plummeted, prompting car makers to demand urgent intervention by European Commission as they face huge fines for failure to comply with carbon dioxide CO2 emission standards, where the overall car sales fell at over 18% year-on-year across the European Union last month, with the market share of fully electric models falling from 21% to just over 14%. Unfortunately, according to the Director General of the European Automobile Manufacturers Association, Afia Sigrid de Veris, this is a problem because the EU limit on CO2 emissions per kilometer is based on the average of all vehicles sold by a given manufacturer, where if the share of zero-emission car falls, the overall average will go up. Now, let me try to break this story down real quickly. This story is truly about carbon emission targets. Basically, let's face it. Recall that there is a target in the European Union to meet net zero emissions by 2050. Some persons say 2030, but yet as it stands, this goal may not be completely gotten to just yet. You may also be interested to know that Euroactive, from about 4 years ago, took out the time to explain this European Union climate law in relation to all of these things we just talked about. We're talking about emission of CO2. Let's take a look at it, and when we come back, we'll look at other stories. Please stay.
Climate law is all about process, not about substance. There is nothing in there, for example, about renewable energies or CO2 emissions from cars. These are important, of course, but they will be dealt with elsewhere in other pieces of legislation. What the climate law does do in detail, though, is to set out a process to make sure Europe stays on track and eventually reaches the 2050 objective. Importantly, decisions on climate policy, including targets, will no longer be decided by unanimity among the member states, but by qualified majority voting. This means EU countries will no longer have a veto over things climate-related. Moreover, the European Parliament will from now on be fully involved as a co-legislator, meaning decisions will be more democratic. Now, how will the climate law work in practice? Well, EU member states will be asked to report on a yearly basis about progress made. And if they deviate from the objective, the Commission will be allowed to take some corrective measures in the way of new legislation or by making some detailed recommendations to the member states. And in due time, some intermediary targets will be added on the way to reaching the 2050 objective, for example in 2030 and 2040, and revised on a regular basis every 5 years, in line with the latest available science.
No policy, plan or deal will be nearly enough as long as you just continue to ignore the CO2 budget which applies for today. We don't just need goals for 2030 or 2050, we above all need them for 2020 and for every following year to come.
Moving on to other stories making the rounds, and this time around is still in relation to quite a number of things. As a matter of fact, still in relation to CO2 emission, pollution of the environment, the air, etc. I'm interested to know that the federal judge has dismissed a U.S. Department of Justice lawsuit accusing eBay, a global online auctions and trading company, of violating environmental laws by allowing the sales of hundreds of thousands of harmful products on its platform, including pesticides and devices to evade motor vehicle pollution controls. Furthermore, the U.S. District Judge Aurelia Merchant in Brooklyn stated that eBay's administrative and technical support to sellers does not materially contribute to the product's alleged unlawfulness and does not make the San Jose, California company a publisher or speaker on sellers' behalf. However, merchant also said eBay was not a seller of some of the challenged products because it did not physically possess them or hold title, as she rejected the government's argument that eBay was a seller because it exchanged the products for money. Let's hold up real quickly and let's look at that story a little more emphatically. This story brings the concept of the reseller business, or more like their affiliate marketing business, to the fore. But this time you aren't publicly acknowledging that what such products do or that you're in possession of such products. All you're doing is creating a market for buyer to meet seller. Case closed. Anyway, the report says something very categorical, very emphatic, and that's the fact that eBay, it was said that eBay wasn't a seller of some of these challenged products because it did not physically possess these products or hold title. Now, well, it may interest you to know that the Electric Viking from about some months ago took out the time to look at the genesis of all these legal issues with eBay and where it has gotten to now. This case has been struck out, but let's take a look at the origin of all of this.
eBay is now on the hook for apparently selling 400,000 emissions cheat devices. The US Department of Justice has sued eBay for unlawfully selling and distributing hundreds of thousands of products in violation of the Clean Air Act. And this is not like eBay didn't know about this. They were told, they just ignored it. A complaint was filed on behalf of the Environmental Protection Agency, or the EPA, and alleges the company offered for sale or caused the sale of around 350,000 or more aftermarket defeat devices controls, a violation of the CAA. For anyone who slipped through the dscripts.com, says the government says defeat devices increase emissions of nitrogen oxides, particulate matter, and non-methane hydrocarbons. These harm public health. The US says that these devices harm public health, impede efforts by state and local authorities to plan for and attain air quality standards.
You're still watching Global Business right here on the Afia Business Morning on Afia TV. Kindly join in on the conversation and watch in live right now on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Kindly tap in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business. And while you're there, remember to hit the like button and of course subscribe so you get notifications on all business related content coming to you from Afia TV. Up next, oh, by the way, we're also available on socials. Instagram specifically, we're available there. You can follow us by searching for us at of course, Afia Business _. Very important you do that. All right, we'll take a short break right now. When we come back, we'll be looking at more business-related stories after this time out. Stay tuned. Thank you for rejoining me on the Afia Business Morning right here on Afia TV. You're watching Global Business. Now to the rest of the stories. And now to the world of tech, where it's reported that Amazon, the largest online retailer and technology provider, has won a partial dismissal of a U.S. Federal Trade Commission FTC lawsuit accusing it of maintaining illegal monopolies using anti-competitive tactics to maintain dominance among online superstores and marketplaces. Furthermore, last year, the FTC alleged Amazon.com, which has 1 billion items in its online superstore, was using an algorithm that pushed up prices. U.S. households paid by more than $1 billion, which Amazon has said in court papers that it stopped using the program in 2019. However, Amazon has asked U.S. District Judge John Chun to dismiss the case in December, saying the FTC had raised no evidence of harm to consumers. Now, this report reminds me of quite a number of issues. Same antitrust concern which was raised against Alibaba, Microsoft, Google at one time. All of this claims under the guise of maintaining illegal monopolies and using anti-competitive tactics to maintain dominance among online superstores, in this case scenario marketplaces. Yet, the same things they were accused of by reason of a certain algorithm was pretty much discontinued in 2019. Anyway, Al Jazeera English, as of a year ago, reports on the crux of this matter from when the issues began. Let's take a look.
In the United States, companies don't get much bigger than Amazon, worth $1.3 trillion, with more than 1 million employees worldwide. But now federal regulators in the United States say it got this big and this rich using unfair practices. Around 60% of the sales on Amazon.com come from small and medium-sized companies. But the FTC says when they list on Amazon, because of fees and requirements, for every $2 the seller makes, one of those dollars goes to Amazon, a fee that it says amounts to a 50% Amazon tax, which is ultimately passed along to consumers. Because of Amazon's reach, the FTC says sellers have little choice but to pay. And it says Amazon is also inflating prices of goods, because if those sellers sell their products for less on another platform, the allegation is Amazon basically makes their listing disappear on its site. Amazon is denying any wrongdoing. The case is expected to take years to work its way through the courts, but experts say it could have a huge impact on the company if they lose. This is all part of a promise from the Biden administration to take on big tech. The FTC is also suing Meta, the parent company of Facebook. The Justice Department is in court right now suing Google. How these cases turn out will likely have a huge impact on people worldwide and the way we all use technology going forward.
Stands for job protection. Now, if you ask me, I'll say categorically that stories of this nature will sadly keep popping up. Now, the other time it was Volkswagen, and then Boeing was in the news. And with the sad turn of events in the global economy, one can only pretty much pray and hope for the best, because, of course, this economic downturn, a lot of persons are getting out of business, a lot of people are, cutting down costs, etc. And these kind of things do happen and may pretty much continue. Oh well, Associated Press reports on this particular story. Let's take a look.
No work without a fair contract. No work without a fair contract.
We're at the end of a 6-year contract, okay? And we are in negotiations now for a fair contract. A fair contract, okay? And a contract not filled with automation. What they need to do is pay these men and women a fair wage. They made billions and billions and billions of dollars, okay? All right, billions and billions and billions of dollars, okay? And during COVID, they ripped off the whole industry, they ripped the government off and every damn body else during COVID, okay? Now, we want them to pay back. They're going to pay back. We mean business. We're going to do it as long as it needs to be done, okay? This is not something that you start and you stop. We're not weak. We're not weak. What we control, as far as the economy is concerned, okay, is unbelievable. Okay? We may be 60,000 members from Maine to Texas, but what we control in the economy is billions and billions and billions of dollars every day. Every day. Okay? And all we want them to do is share. Okay? What we demand, our demands are to share and not to replace us with automation. My men and women work better than any machine around anyway.
Follow up with this story as well as other stories as unfold and keep you in the loop just so that you are informed. And talking about keeping in the loop, you may want to get to our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Watch in live there. Be a part of the conversation at www.youtube.com/Afia Business while you're there. Remember, you should like and subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. And also, we are available on socials. We are live on Instagram at Afia Business _ do well to join in on our social media family and be part of the all conversations. You're still watching the Afia Business Morning right here on Afia TV. Coming up next will be a conversation around all the economic hardship, if you may, or dimensions, if you like, as far as Nigeria economy is concerned. And then, of course, I'm going to be having two guests join me on the next segment, which, of course, is the Eastern Business Report. Stay tuned. The Afia Business Morning continues on the beat. My name is Ubong Kings. My name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Afia.
I am Chioma Akbala.
This is not real market show like this.
You're looking to grow your business? At Afia TV, we've got just what you need. With our various on-screen advertising options like speed bags, lower third, sidebars.
My name is Ubon Kings.
I am Marvelous Afia.
I am Chioma Akbala.
This is not real market show like this.
still watching the Afia Business Morning right here on Afia TV, and this is the Eastern Business Report, and which this is designed to bring you up to speed on business activities and policies affecting businesses in the southeastern part of Nigeria. It comes usually after the global business right here on the Afia Business Morning. And on today's edition, we'll be looking at quite a number of things, a lot of dynamics, if you may, and that specifically has to do with Nigeria's economy. How well have we grown? Have we even grown in the first instance? That's basically what we're going to be talking about. But before I go ahead with this, I have been joined this morning on set by none other than a journalist and a public affairs analyst in the person of Emeka Odom. It's good to have you join us, Emeka. It's been a while.
Thank you so much.
I've seen you physically. The last time we had a conversation, you were somewhere and you couldn't join us physically. It's good to have you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
So, from your assessment, let's start with that. From your assessment, how do you see the economy of Nigeria compared? I mean, the president is one year plus in office already, and this is the 2nd October that he's spending in office. So, what are your thoughts, really?
Okay, it's a very interesting question. As a matter of fact, I don't think you need to be a professor of political science or professor of political economy before you can, give answer to that question. Nigerians' matter is very obvious and clear. Talking about the economy of Nigeria in the last 1 year, they said the experience is the best teacher, and so. Obviously, I don't think the economy has been in the best shape, because see, the truth is that it doesn't matter what apologies of government will tell you. And when I mean apologies, both those who are employed by the government directly and those who are who are sympathetic to the government. We are all anyway, but sometimes you need to say things that they are. If the economy is doing well, the people of the land will prosper. There's no way the Nigerian economy will be doing well and Nigerians will be impoverished. Hunger will be on the increase. People will be losing their jobs. The price of things will be skyrocketing on a daily basis. People will be crying to an extent that young ones will stage protests. Every available opportunity, they want to stage a protest. That can never be a sign of a nation in prosperity. That can never be a sign of a nation whose economy is improving. So these things are very clear, and that's why I said that you don't need to be a professor for you to see these things. Of course, those who will see no reason, who will see nothing bad in the government, can come and quote all kinds of jargons and let me make a reference. You recall that in the national broadcast of the president.
I was coming there because you just said something about.
Yes, he said something why he was trying to. Of course, that speech is a different thing entirely anyway. So
we're going to get there.
Yes, why he was trying to reel out his achievements in the last 1 year since he came into office. He himself said something. He said, I know that what will be of utmost concern to you people now will be the high cost of living.
Yes.
So that tells you that it doesn't matter the indices he's quoting.
Yeah. It
doesn't matter the figures he's quoting here and there. However, whether truly he has sorted out the ways and means, whether he has increased the foreign reserve, whatever thing he has done, whether he has cleared the backlog of forex being owed, all of those things break down to what is the living standard of the people.
Yeah, because everybody's of the opinion, okay, you've done this, you've done that. How does that translate to the cost of guarding the market?
That becomes the yardstick, the standard of measurement.
Right.
So if a nation is doing, UNDP will tell you, a nation that is doing well, they will gauge, there are various, performance index, there are key performance index they will use, and at the end of the day, they will tell you that, look, this country, this is the average lifespan based on so and so. Now, a nation can be having 30 to 35, average lifespan, and you are telling me that the nation is doing well.
That's sad reality. But I'm being joined this morning. I've been told I've been joined already virtually by a guest who is standing by to join in on this conversation, and we're going to be looking also at this CBN, I beg your pardon, this claim by Mr. President in his speech, paragraph 20 of the president's 64th independence anniversary, that said that they had cleared the 30 trillion naira ways and means debt. And my guest, who is on standby at the moment, says that that is completely inaccurate. And I thank God I have him on standby. I'm talking about none other than Aniche Ndidum Roland, who is an ex-banker. He's an ex-banker and financial analyst and CEO of Rogon Capital Limited. He joins us from Enugu right here this morning. Hello, Roland. It's good to have you join us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Kings, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Hello.
I can hear you clearly. So talk to me. You said that you think you're of the opinion that these ways and means that had been cleared, the 30 trillion naira, it's completely inaccurate and misleading. Let's talk about that real quick.
Okay. The 30 trillion deficit, which was formerly in the books of Central Bank, it's a debt in the books of Central Bank. And so when the National Assembly approved the securitization of it, it simply empowered the Debt Management Office to prepare a bond which was actually securitized and sold to the general public as a bond. So what simply happened was the debt was removed from the books of Central Bank into the books of the federal government as part of the debt profile of the country. That was what happened. So when they say a debt has been cleared, it simply means the principal and the interest has been paid off. But this is not what happened.
It was just
This is not what happened.
So the debt moved. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
It was just moved away from the books of Central Bank into the books of the federal government as part of its loan portfolio. So the debt still remains the same. So I think it's unfortunate the handlers did not use the right words very well. And I want to believe the Minister of Finance is not aware of this speech. I strongly want to believe, because if he was fully aware of this speech, he would have made corrections to that. So I think it's a grave error on their part. And Mr. President is, with his busy schedule, you don't expect him to be writing speeches like this, because it's a whole lot. It's more or less like every minister is submitting his own KPIs so that it's consolidated into a speech. So the handlers of the president from the media, it's an error. It's an error of, call it the right word to use. That debt was not cleared. It's now in the loan portfolio of the federal government of Nigeria. It's been added to it. And the whole aim is to free up central banks so that they can continue to perform their functions.
Okay.
So it's an enforced error from the handlers of the president.
Okay.
I want to believe the Minister of Finance was not aware of this speech or did not see this speech. I strongly want to believe it was not a privilege to teach.
Okay, let's just want to, I don't know, but okay, good point to make. I'll come back to you in a bit. Well, my guest was laughing. My in-house guest here. You just giggled when I asked that question. On your own part, do you think this was a mistake or this was deliberate? Because if you go through this speech, you see deliberateness in trying to reel out achievements, deliberateness in trying to prove a point that Nigeria has been able to move away from as much of the debt we have been incurring over time. You see deliberateness in trying to prove a point that we've even attracted foreign direct investment. Now, you giggled. I want to know why you giggled.
I don't think, or rather, I think Roland was probably trying to, put it very mildly. He wanted to be diplomatic about it. This can be a mistake. You see, he himself said it that before put together a speech from Mr. President to get input from different ministries and other government heads of other government agencies and parastatals. And so that means the Ministry of Finance made an input into this. And so if the Ministry of Finance made an input into this, of course, who could have pretended over that other than the minister himself? And remember also that the minister is the Minister of Finance is the coordinating minister of the economy. And this speech, a good chunk of it borders on the economy.
Right.
You know, within the last 1 year since Mr. President came to office, and so that cannot be a mistake. And besides that, the point is very clear that this is not about semantics now. It's about say we have cleared. It's different from we have probably managed this debt. And you see, if there's a debt, you manage the debt. And when you use the word manage, that gives you a leverage. You know, it's more encompassing. But when you say you have cleared, and I think this is very definite. And so it cannot be a mistake. The thing is that one thing I always say is that Nigerian leaders, irrespective of whoever they are at whatever peak, a lot of times there's this tendency to take Nigerians for granted. And that is very unfortunate because you see, Nigerians are equally, no matter how educated the leader is, there are Nigerians that are far more educated.
Right.
No matter how intelligent the leader is, there are more Nigerians that are far more, intelligent. No matter how, vast in terms of world affairs, economy, politics, whatever thing it is, there are Nigerians that are far more than that. And so some of these Nigerians, each time issues or matters come to public domain, they will just stay quietly and monitor the way things are going. And by the way, if that was actually a mistake, nothing stopped the finance minister since yesterday that speech was read in the morning. Nothing stopped it from coming out to say, you are not coming to, well, the president is your boss, so you can't come out and say the president lied. You can't say so. But there's a way you could have
managed the situation. Yeah.
I remember in those days, when the president gives the speech, the following day or 2 days after, the Minister of Finance will gather, some captains of industries and explain the details of the budget and try to manage whatever speech the president. If there are areas that you think the president didn't quite, these are where communications people come in. So since that year, say, how come nobody has come to say anything? The people who are managing Mr. President's communication have not said anything. The ministry himself, where the issue borders lies, critically, have not said anything. Everybody is just keeping quiet until some Nigerians are coming out to say, no, this is not the case. This is, in fact, I was listening to one analyst. He said there is no way you could have cleared this 30 trillion ways and means within this period in this kind of economy that we are running.
No,
it's not possible. And so he was trying to be euphemistic, so let's leave it at that. But obviously Nigerians are not Nigerians are equally learned in things like this.
Yeah, great. Good point to leave. But let's look at something critical also. Mr. President said something. One of the things he did say, apart from 30 trillion naira debt clearing, he also said they were able to attract foreign direct investment in the country. And this is one of the issues that a lot of Nigerians have been asking questions. You say you've been able to attract foreign direct investment. Or for a certain amount, I'm trying to get how much it was that he mentioned, but the amount is quite on the high side, meaning that there's a lot of money in circulation, but somehow we're not seeing money. Now the question is, where exactly was this money? You see, the funny part is, we're told that foreign direct investment came into the country, but we don't know what sector the money came into. We don't know who brought the foreign the direct, and all of those details is not stated anywhere. Yeah. Now, is this also one of those schemes or political gimmicks or trying to score cheap points when it comes to the economy?
Before now, some pundits have always said that one of the problems that this administration has so far, or one of the issues, one of the challenges that people have identified in this administration is still very young, is the issue of public communication. And you see, the public communication has never been, that two-way communication between the governors and the governed have not been there. And so, if it has been there, these are not things that will just be revealed to the Nigerian citizens by the president on Independence Day. Nigerians would have been following, these issues would have been in the public domain. Nigerians would have been following them, because actions of government are not done in secrecy. These are not the kind of things you classify, they are state secrets, they are classified information that shouldn't be given to the people. No, people should know. You see, one of the things that the government is fighting for is foreign direct investment. We are all happy because when people come to invest in this country, it will benefit all of us. That there will be, jobs will be created, the economy will be opened up, and money will be in circulation. Nigerians will enjoy. We understand all that, so we pray for it. Even though we are asking and let the right things be done, because it's not enough to just wish it. We need to work towards that. So This shouldn't just drop from the blues. Yes, we knew when Mr. President traveled, he had meetings with was it Zomobi, and they talked about the taking up their. But this is not the first time these stories are coming out. It has come out before and faded away and coming out. So Nigerians are now waiting when this has happened. But by the way, in all of these things, let me say that Mr. President's speech on October 1st, to me as a Nigerian, a major stakeholder in this country, because I'm a Nigerian, I have no other country. This is the only country I have, and my children are going to, they are also going to be, they are citizens of this country, and so we are major stakeholders. I have the right to comment on, issues of government.
Right.
What Mr. President gave to us on October 1st, number one, the speech falls below standard, below, our expectation, because we must understand, and that is why, you see, managing public communication, particularly at the apex, is not about brigandage. It's not about intimidation. As far as I'm concerned, those who are managing Mr. President's public communication now, they are far more, they are brigands and not communicators. These are the same people who manage his campaign communications, and we saw all that happened. The acrimony, the fighting and everything, and we thought maybe after the elections, these guys will, many of them are journalists, respected people. We thought they would calm down and now say, okay, well, this is now the job of governance, and so let's embrace everyone. But that has continued. If you go to their Twitter handles, yes, you see you read all kinds of very hostile communication, and that is why on October 1st, the national day of every country, it is not a day that the president comes to begin to, say things that, things that puff up his ego. Since he came into office, this is what he has done. That's a day you arouse national consciousness, especially to a country like Nigeria, that the issue of national unity is a major issue in this country. You rekindle hope. Go back to those ideals that our forefathers fought for. Make case for them, because no other person can be a better advocate of this country other than Mr. President. That's number one person. Talk to Nigerians. Let us know why we must all drop our differences. In fact, on a day like that, you drop all political differences. And that is why the National Day is always hallmarked by what is called a state banquet, where invitation is extended to practically everyone, whether you are a member of the party or not, whether you are in the opposition or not, whether you agree with Mr. President programs or not, because that is called a National Day. Then on your anniversary, of course, you can now, come and tell us how you were able to, go and catch 20 aircrafts in one hand. Not on a day like this. Now, it's not a day you come and start telling us how you are giving award to people, conferring.
I saw that in the speech, as far as I'm concerned,
these issues are very incongruous with that speech and the mood of the day. Again, also, Mr. President, you want to organize a 30-day conference for youth. Who does that? 30 days. What would they be doing? The youths are already talking during the end hunger.
End bad governance
hunger protest, or end bad governance, whichever baptismal name you give to it. They all the same thing. The youths have already spoken, and they are continuously speaking. So you now want to converge them together and probably now spend millions for 30 days in a country that we are all crying. So I quite frankly, sometimes when I woke up very early because it was a public holiday. Ordinarily I should have rested a little bit, but I woke up very early to go on the television, and my wife was asking me, you so much believe in this country and what the president is going to say today. I said, no, let me hear, And at the end of the day, it was not. So these are the issues, for goodness sake.
Okay, I think we have
and beyond that, let me say this.
Okay, quickly.
You see, Mr. President demarketed his party, APC, with that speech. If you look at that speech, Mr. President, at a point he was trying to convince us on the state of the nation, the state of the economy, the state of security, the state of the polity when he assumed office, right? He said, my administration took over this country, and he tried to tell us, you know, in fact, he used the word, he said they found themselves at a dizzying crossroad. What does it mean to be, I mean, as a literature student, when you say dizzy, that's a very serious, you know, metaphor you use. When you say you're feeling dizzy, you don't see clearly, you're staggering, right? At a crossroad, you don't even know where to go to. That creates a state of despair, hopelessness. That was where APC left Nigeria in 2015. A party that a government that he was a major stakeholder in.
I think we should leave it here. We don't have time anymore.
He just told us why we shouldn't have voted APC.
Well. Thank you so much, Emeka, for your thoughts. And I told my online guest is still standing by. Also, I also want to thank you, Roland. Sincere apologies. I wish we had more time to push this conversation, but thank you for staying tuned. And guess you just joining in. I've been playing host to two gentlemen, Aniche and the doomed Roland, who's an ex-banker and financial analyst and CEO of Rogon Capital Limited, and also played host right here in the studio to my fellow journalist and of course a public affairs analyst, none other than Emeka Odom. And this will be size of the package right here. Thank you for your time. Do well to follow us on all our socials, especially on YouTube. You get to see this video and at www.youtube.com/Afia Business. And while you're there, remember to hit the like button. Remember, you should also subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. And we're available also on Instagram. Do well to follow us on our socials so we will get interactive at Afia Business _. Thank you for your time. My name is Ubong Kings. Good morning.
To people online, and then I get paid